The power clean and jerk for conditioning purposes. So we're going to talk about two things. First, pros and cons to utilizing it. And number two, we're going to talk about body positions and how that changes off of the Olympic weightlifting power clean and jerk. So when we use this movement for conditioning purposes, it gets a lot of hate. And I think the reason is because that oftentimes trainees use too much weight and too much speed too early in the development or where they're at with their capacity. But the benefits are that we can utilize the clean and jerk for conditioning purposes to elicit a cardiorespiratory response in a full body exercise that will be very similar to what you'll experience with something like a burpee. But we're doing it with an added load, which requires everything from coordination to accuracy. It's a terrific movement. Using the power clean and jerk for conditioning purposes is definitely different from using it for weightlifting purposes. Number one, we're gonna start in a different setup where our hips might be slightly higher and our knee might be slightly further back than it would in a weightlifting exercise where we're going for only 1 to 5 repetition max. Number two, as we receive the power clean on the shoulder, instead of standing up, resetting, and then performing a power jerk or a push jerk, instead what we're going to do is receive that clean on the shoulder in the dip position and then go directly into a jerk and stand up with it. What this does is it shortens the cycle time for every repetition, eliciting a much greater cardiorespiratory response. So how do you not sacrifice safety in the power clean and jerk when you're doing it for conditioning? Well, number one, if you haven't done this thing a whole lot, really go super light on the movement and focus on how you perform the repetitions. So those things we talked about earlier, so important. But if you're using too heavy of a weight, you really can't dial in barbell cycling using this movement. Lightweight and move a little bit slower. Now, as you start to develop, you want to start to add smaller amounts of weight or repetitions, but not both. So for example, if I've done 30 clean and jerks with 75 pounds, and the next workout that I'm doing calls for 50 repetitions of power clean and jerks, I may still use 75 pounds and try to maintain my technique and form and body positioning for those 20 extra repetitions. What would be a bad idea is jumping to 95 pounds with that added volume. That's just too much to expect for the body. So as you can kind of hear, I'm a proponent of using the clean and jerk for conditioning, but I'm also a proponent of being smart about it and being safe. Expecting to scale the weight back or the reps back in order to maintain both efficiency and safety. We want both of those things. So get out there, be smart, and give it a shot.